Keeping you informed, involved, and in touch. This is News 3 Live at 5.
Good afternoon. I'm Katie Sy.
And I'm Carleen Wild. Today on Live at 5, a Marine is remembered. Memorial services are held for a Wisconsin Marine killed in Iraq. More on the emotional service straight ahead.
Plus, Wisconsin's Amber Alert is put into action. Find out how today's test run went.
And President Bush signs into law the third largest tax cut in U.S. history.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Live at 5. Mark is still on vacation today. Carleen Wild filling in. Thank you.
You're welcome. Lucky Mark.
Oh, yeah, because it's been so nice out.
It's been beautiful. Today was just a whirlwind, though.
Well, it was so
Pretty
strange.
crazy.
Did you hear the thunder?
Oh, yes.
Like mid-morning when the sun was still out, and it was kind of confusing.
But, you know, the sun's been peeking in and out all day, and actually those, I think, are our weather words, aren't they?
Yeah.
In and out. And Gary Canolti is going to be in just a few minutes with your forecast.
First at 5, a Marine who died in Iraq last week told a good friend he was prepared to die.
That was revealed today in a letter read during the funeral of Marine Sergeant Kirk Straczewski. Tony Morrissey just returned from the services in Beaver Dam and has the latest on the letter shared with family and friends.
Well, the 23-year-old Marine wrote the letter just days after the Twin Towers attacks. The Marine knew he would be going to war. The letter was read by his best friend during a funeral mass this morning. Straczewski died May 19th when he jumped into a canal to rescue fellow Marines from a downed helicopter. His letter, written September 19th, 2001, said he was prepared to die in a war he knew was inevitable.
Quite possibly, Nick, I could die. Plain and simple. I do not want to die. It saddens me to think of what I would miss if I were killed. But don't confuse that with fear.
Straczewski was buried with military honors at a cemetery north of Beaver Dam. Straczewski also asked his friend to reassure his family and friends that he was at peace with himself before his death. We'll have more of the Marine's haunting words tonight on News 3 at 6.
Powerful letter.
It was.
Tony, thanks. Sure.
Hundreds of American soldiers are sweeping through a hot spot tonight in the Iraqi capital. The area in western Baghdad has seen several attacks on U.S. troops in the past few days. The military sweep is expected to end tonight. Early today, an Iraqi police officer was hit 4 times when an attacker opened fire on him from a moving car as he stood near a police station in northwest Baghdad. He is in critical condition.
A suspected serial killer has waived extradition and will be returned to Louisiana. Derek Todd Lee appeared in court this morning in Atlanta. He's wanted in the deaths of at least 5 women in Louisiana. Lee kept his head down and spoke quietly as he told the judge he understood the charges. Atlanta police arrested him last night outside a tire store after a months-long manhunt.
Wisconsin tested its new Amber Alert system this morning.
On some spot checks this morning that I personally made to stations around the state, we're seeing about
The test shortly before 9 o'clock ran here on Channel 3. Here's how it works. Police call Dane County's 911 center to ask for the alert. A supervisor then activates the system and sends it to the media in a designated area. Radio and TV stations then broadcast the Amber Alert, and by all accounts, this morning's test was a success.
on some spot checks this morning that I personally made to stations around the state, we're seeing about 95% success of this test and getting it to the public.
Charles says there are a couple glitches inside individual stations that need to be worked out. But if the system had to be activated tomorrow, it is ready to go.
Beloit voters are going to the polls today to decide whether the city should buy its water supply. If so, it would likely mean lower water bills and more local control over the utility. Referendum approval would allow the city to issue $25 million in bonds to make the buy. The city's water supply is currently owned by Alliant Energy. We'll start checking your mailbox.
The White House says some families could be getting tax credit checks as soon as next month. This after President Bush signed a $330 billion tax cut package into law today. The legislation will lower the amount of taxes withheld from paychecks, offer increased tax credits for families with children, and cut taxes on dividends and capital gains. Bush says the package will increase investment and create jobs to spur the economy.
We have taken aggressive action to strengthen the foundation of our economy so that every American who wants to work will be able to find a job.
Opponents of the package say it favors the rich and will increase the federal deficit.
Stocks finished the session slightly higher today. The Dow Jones Industrial Average closed up nearly 12 points to 8,793. The NASDAQ Composite gained 11 points.
It is a happy ending for 6 missing hikers near Mount St. Helens in Washington. A helicopter spotted them today, nearly 3 days after they failed to return from a day trip in the Gifford-Pinchot National Forest. They had lit a signal fire and were spotted by a search helicopter on Mitchell Peak. The 6 had left on Monday and were reported missing yesterday by co-workers. The hikers did not have any serious injuries.
Very lucky. The clouds should soon clear.
Gary says the sun makes a return tomorrow. He's in next.
This is Karen Johansson. Have some of this growing in your lawn? Coming up, I'll tell you what it is and how to get rid of it.
And later, a mother and daughter undergo transformations in our ultimate makeover.
It was hard to tell what was going to happen 1 minute to the next today, Gary.
And, you know, it depends on where you are in our viewing area, because west of Madison, they've had very little rain, lots of sunshine, and temperatures have been a good 10 to 15 degrees warmer. But we've had some strong thunderstorms from Madison on toward the east. Let's start out by taking a look at the real-time conditions here in the backyard. It's also kind of windy. Winds are out of the north. At times, they've been gusting as high as about 30 miles an hour. We've only picked up a little more than 1/10 of an inch here at the station, but notice our temperature's at 62 because of the cloud cover. As we take a look at Doppler 3000, you can see a wider view. There are some severe thunderstorms through the southern portion of the Chicago metro area. Those counties that are in white are under severe thunderstorms, and even one tornado warning for eastern Will County, south of Chicago. But as you can see, no warnings in effect for southeastern Wisconsin, and you can see most of the shower activity has started to shift toward the south and east. There's very little lightning even over southeastern Wisconsin. As we take a look at Doppler track across southern Wisconsin, we had some showers come through this morning, then a break, and then here's the thunderstorms that popped up this afternoon. As you can see, they've mainly been from Madison and areas on toward the east, with little precipitation west of the city. There is a severe thunderstorm watch for Madison and areas to the south and east for southeastern Wisconsin until 8 p.m. tonight. I would be very surprised if that watch is not canceled within the next hour or so. As we look at pinpoint temperatures, look at the difference because of the cloud cover. It's 60 in Madison, but 79 degrees in La Crosse, where they have sunshine. And as we take a look at the weather track across the Midwest, you can see how this little weather system came through, and then things clear out to the west. So we should see a nice day tomorrow. The next clouds pushing into the western Dakotas will give us a chance for some showers or thunderstorms about Friday. We should warm up for tomorrow with those milder conditions to the west of us, and then as we look at future track, the next chance of showers and storms will move in by Friday morning. Our forecast for tonight calls for showers and thunderstorms. Again, severe thunderstorm watch, Madison and areas to the south and east until 8 p.m. Thunderstorms will end, though, and it'll turn partly cloudy with a low of 49. Tomorrow should be a partly sunny and pleasant day with a high of 75. Another chance for thunderstorms on Friday, and then a little cooler for the weekend with another chance for some rain, perhaps by the early part of next week.
Doesn't look too bad. It was hard to know whether to keep the windows open today or like to
or to use an umbrella. Yeah, it was a changeable day, but the good news is the severe weather threat is ending.
Okay, thanks, Gary.
Okay.
Thanks, Gary. Up next, it's called Creeping Charlie.
And if you're not careful, it can take over your whole lawn. Find out how to get rid of this weed in this week's Green Gardener.
Journalists who've worked and lived in South Central Wisconsin for years. Journalists who know the people in the communities they serve.
Firefighters from traveling north on Highway 51.
News 3 has learned there's
News 3, keeping you informed, involved, and in touch. More local weather coverage every day, morning, noon, and night.
We won't be quite as cold tonight. It's clear right now in southern Wisconsin, but
gradually inching its way eastward.
The News 3 weather team, keeping you informed, involved, and in touch. You're watching News 3 live at 5 with Mark Cade and Katie Sy.
Well, this is that time of year those lawn weeds start to appear.
And one in particular can be quite troublesome. Karen Johansson shows us how to control Creeping Charlie in today's Green Gardener.
One gardener's flowers can be another gardener's weed, and that couldn't be more true when dealing with Creeping Charlie. Originally brought to this country to be an ornamental ground cover, Creeping Charlie has really escaped and invaded our lawns. And you can spot it by the little scalloped leaves and the nice little blue flowers. Now, if you dig it up, you can see that it spreads by underground roots, makes little plantlets, and it'll also spread by seed. Now is an excellent time to control Creeping Charlie before it gets really hot. The first thing, though, that's important is to improve the overall health of your lawn with proper mowing and proper fertilization. Now, you can get rid of Creeping Charlie by either digging it, which is a long battle, or you can spray it with some herbicides. Just make sure if you decide to use the herbicides, you read and follow all the directions and understand how they work. Herbicides like this are broadleaf herbicides. They kill things with a broad leaf, but not your grass. So when you spray it, you want to be very careful to spray it on a day when it's not windy so it doesn't drift onto your desirable plants and flowers. It's absorbed through the leaf tissue. So you want to make sure you have lots of surface area. So don't mow the day before you want to apply the spray. Then it needs to work its way down into the plant. So this herbicide needs to stay on the leaves for at least 24 hours without any rain. Finally, if you're successful killing your Creeping Charlie, you want to make sure you throw some grass seed around to take up the spots where you killed the weed so that it just doesn't grow back. Remember, these herbicides are quite toxic, so it's very important that you understand how they work, so make sure you read and follow all the directions. For this week's Green Gardener, this is Karen Johansson.
Those weeds are getting some more food to grow on with the rain just started, so we came back in.
It started sprinkling.
Coming up, it's another ultimate makeover.
This time, a mother and daughter both get a new look. We'll show you the before and after coming up. Recapping today's top story, a touching letter was read today at the funeral of Marine Kirk Straczewski. The letter, written to his best friend, said in part that the Marine believed that the greater causes to fight for than oneself. More than 300 mourners filled St. Michael's Catholic Church for the funeral today. It is 61 degrees right now, and Gary says lingering showers and thunderstorms, mainly east of Madison, will end early. Otherwise, it'll be partly cloudy. Temperatures will fall to the upper 50s by 10 o'clock. A mother and daughter team from Evansville is sporting a new look after winning Z104's Ultimate Mother's Day Makeover Contest.
Linda Merwin says daughter Amanda has been her best friend since the day she knew she was expecting her. Both enjoyed a special treat last week at the Ultimate Spa Salon.
So I think we'll take off some of the length back here. Shorten her up to bring out your cheekbones, and change your part. I'd like to put your part more to the side.
My daughter is my best friend, and I just thought someday she's going to be a mother, and I just thought, well, I would just take and email in something nice about her.
I think doing the mother-daughter, kind of similar colors will be fun.
All right.
We talked before, and you said not really too much red. Your daughter said the same thing, maybe a little. We have a little bit of purpose to our method to our madness, so to speak. So what I'm going to do is keep the highlights a lot lighter on the top, and then I'll keep the low lights and the darker hair more towards the sides. And what that'll do is it'll create an illusion of more lift on the top and create more of a vertical face shape, so your face will look more balanced.
The apple of my eye, my best friend. She's a good person, a loving person, and everybody that comes in contact with her loves her. She's just a person that I love to be with and love to do things with.
Now I'm just going to do a nice light little touch-up.
Wow, looks pretty interesting.
And we'll show you their new looks a little later in our final touch, and the whole idea is they didn't get to see each other during, and that's why they had their backs to each other, so they'll get to see each other at the end of the show.
Very neat.
Coming up on People in the News, SARS scares a rock band from Toronto. We'll explain.
And the movie Down with Love has sparked a fashion trend. We'll show you.
My first New York phone call. Oh, it must be No Magazine. No one else has your number. It must be Catch Your Blog. Oh!
Trying to get your morning off to a good start isn't always easy.
You got 2 minutes, Rob. How about the dark one?
It takes hours of preparation and a good game plan.
And topped off with a good night's sleep.
Good morning, everyone. Wake up to what's new in southern Wisconsin and keep up with what's happening in your world. The Early Show right after News 3 this morning at 5 a.m. Discover the difference right here on WISC-TV 3.
That's the music of the Moon Gypsies, and you can listen to them for free tonight. They're playing at the Drive-In at 8 o'clock.
Always a good time. Today on People in the News, the recent outbreak of SARS is keeping the band Stained out of Toronto.
The Rockers canceled an autograph session yesterday and today's concert. The event was to promote the band's 14 Shades of Grey album. Refunds are available to disappointed fans. The World Health Organization recently put Toronto back on the list of areas affected by SARS.
Due to safety concerns, director Baz Luhrmann is packing up his entire set of his new film. Luhrmann, who directed Moulin Rouge, is moving production of his new film, Alexander the Great, to Australia. The drama, starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Nicole Kidman, is being filmed in Morocco, where recent terrorist attacks killed more than 30 people.
Will there be a Lizzie McGuire movie, too? Some may call it crazy. The star of the successful The Lizzie McGuire movie is severing ties with Disney and squashing any chance of a sequel. 15-year-old Hilary Duff says she wants to stretch her acting muscles beyond being a cute middle schooler.
Paul McCartney has announced a new production. He and wife Heather Mills are having a baby later this year. They were married in June of 2002, and this will be their first child. Only 3 months ago, Mills worried she wouldn't be able to get pregnant because of various health problems. McCartney has 3 adult children and a stepdaughter from his first marriage to Linda McCartney. Down with Love, starring Renee Zellweger and Ewan McGregor, is bringing people into the theaters.
Then many of them head to the mall to find the perfect 60s-inspired outfit. Not only is Renee Zellweger's Barbara Novak inciting a sexual revolution in Down with Love, she's become the toast of the fashion world as well.
You know, you put those clothes on and there it is, there she is. You're gonna walk a certain way, you're gonna sit a certain way because you have to.
Various designers are on the cutting edge of the renewed interest in this retro glamour and are launching their own looks in Down with Love boutiques at select Bloomingdale stores.
But I can't find my hat and my glove.
Fabulous, fabulous cocktail dress in tiered chiffon in red. It also comes in black. Just a great look, simple, but it says so much. We've got a fabulous hat with the feathers, dramatic, really makes a statement.
Walking the line between sweet and sexy means being decked out head to toe with everything just so.
What this dress is all about is the movement in the fabric. Again, the romantic look. Black chiffon with your crinkled tiered pleating. Get a little bit of that peekaboo neckline. Fabulous, fabulous hat. Definitely an entrance maker. Wonderful tulle detailing. And then the perfect evening bag. Just enough room for lipstick and a little change.
And fans are in the pink with lots of looks for evening and daytime.
Every great lady needs a perfectly matched suit, and this is it. Fabulous tweed. Who would not want to be wearing this? Again, you'll see the soft pastel tones, kind of the mix with the peach and the pink. Again, wonderful floral accent, just that touch of feminine touch there.
I'm just gonna stay in tonight.
Not likely. With looks like these, you'll be catching up with the likes of Catcher Block.
29 dates in 23 days.
Very interesting. Everything's fabulous.
I like the big feather hat.
Oh, yes. The hats make the outfit, right? They're great. All right, coming up, we saw them before. It's time for the after.
We'll have the results of our mother-daughter makeover in our final touch.
The doorbell rings and you're not expecting anyone. Tonight at 6, Madison police say there has been an increase in the number of salespersons going door to door in the Madison area. Linda Eggert looks at who's walking our neighborhoods, what they're selling, and who they may be trying to recruit to join them. That story is coming up tonight on News 3 at 6.
And in our final touch, it's time to reveal the results of our mother-daughter makeover.
Earlier, we watched Linda and Amanda Merwin go through their transformation. Let's see the final product.
Here's the revealing moment. You ready to see your guys' self? Okay, turn around, take a peek.
You look so totally different.
Okay, so you can compare yourselves. Let's take a look at the before and after. Here's Mom before. And then after a couple of hours of work, there she is.
Totally different color.
Gorgeous. And daughter Amanda, right there, there's her before. And then after the makeover, there you go, totally different.
She looks great. Those highlights around her face really just totally brighten up her smile and her eyes. And well, what a fun day for the two of them. They didn't get to see each other until that moment, so
no,
that
they
really was
worked
genuine.
on different sides of the room so they could have the big surprise at the end.
Did you get to see the letters that they wrote in?
I did not. They won a Z104 contest for Mother's Day, and
each wrote a letter in, not knowing the other one was writing. Correct?
I just know that the mom said, you know, just.
I thought I heard that somewhere. Maybe that was not. That is correct. Okay. Thank you.
The voice of God, our producer, said yes, they both wrote a letter, and so they deserve that. Thank you for filling in. Tomorrow we're on location at the Monkey Bar Gym. We'll see you then.
Gotta check it out.
Tonight's headlines. A CBS News